All right. Howdy, folks. I did not comb my hair. I did not take a shower. I got up early. I did some research. I did some scanning. One comment that came yesterday, and I think is a valid comment, is that there are those of you who don't want me to do the scan for stocks on the Bloomberg. And so today we're going to do it on a website that's free. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And then or a website that doesn't cost $2,300 per month. I mean, that's a reasonable request. Today, Tesla reports earnings. I don't know if they already have or not. I doubt it. I doubt they're going to report it until after the market closes, right? Silver and gold are way up. And I was just reading some data from insiderinsights.com. And the data seems to show that over the last 4 weeks, insiders selling their company's stocks outnumber insiders buying their company's stocks by 186%. And the magic number is 200%. So when there's twice as many insiders selling shares as buying shares, it's generally a short-term market top. And I already think we're at a short-term market top. And I think the evidence actually doesn't necessarily support it if you look at something like the S&P 500. But remember, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are generally dominated by a few financial instruments. So I don't think it's a really practical way to, you could say the market is up, but what you're really saying is, like Apple. I mean, I think that's Apple. No, that's Zoom. Zoom is up. Apple is up. How in the world can that end well for any? You can't really see it out of the corner. Zoom was a parabolic move. Let's share a screen. I'm just going to rail for a minute on Zoom, and then we'll get to the delicious, meaty portion of this presentation. SM. I don't know what that is. Zoom. All right. You've heard me talk about Zoom if you've been here for a while. I own the $260, $250, and $230 puts that expire in August or September. I own puts on Zoom. Zoom is a webinar company. We're using it right now. Right now, folks. And now I've been watching The Last Dance on ESPN. And now your starting lineup for the Chicago. Zoom has had a parabolic move, and parabolic moves always end badly. If you go back to the beginning of this year, 2020, it's the start of this just unbelievable parabolic move in Zoom. It's an insane, crazy insane move. It doesn't make any sense, and it may not be done yet. We've talked about it before. 1, 2, 3, 4. A long 5. You could say that we're in the middle of the third. I don't know. It seems like it's time for a rest. So we read the earnings transcripts from Zoom. We looked at the financials. They do make money. They actually have earnings. They make about $500 to $800 million a year. They did grow their customer base during the pandemic. Then people went back to work, so they're going to lose some of that customer base. A significant amount of their customer base that was gained were small businesses under 10 employees, which for Zoom are the customers that churn through accounts the most. And Zoom ended up with a price to earnings ratio of 1,560. So it's trading at 1,560 times earnings. Do you think Zoom's going to make, if a normal PE ratio is 20, do you think Zoom's going to make 1,000 times the money it's making? It's impossible, right? It's like physics. If you drop a bowling ball off of the roof of a building, You go, well, the bowling balls signed up a lot of customers recently. It's just physics. Market euphoria can only carry something so far. It's like it's just a theory, of course. But I own the $260 puts, the $250 puts, and the $230 puts. I think Zoom should hit 240, 230, 220, or 210 by the end of August. My trade will probably be somewhat profitable, and then I can throw the whole thing in the garbage and get out. In my Robinhood accounts, kind of hovering around the $40,000 range, and when it goes to the 50s and 60s, that's when I'm taking the money and running away. So if you're just joining us now, it's 8:20 Central Time, 9:20 Eastern Time. We got a power-packed coaching call ready for you folks today. I'm Rob Booker. All trading, I know this is going to come as a giant surprise. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. This is not suitable for all traders. I am not a broker. I'm not a professional. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational and educational. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. If you need personal financial advice, please consult a financial advisor. July 22, 2020 thought of the day. A cucumber is bitter. Throw it away. There are briars in the road. Turn aside from them. That's enough. Do not add. And why were such things made in the world? Take a bad trade. Throw it away. But don't ask, why do I keep taking bad trades? It's another way of saying 2,000 years ago or whenever Meditations was written. It's another way of saying don't be a victim. Ever. Somebody mistreats you, don't spend hours and days obsessing about why did they do that? If trading doesn't go the way you might have hoped, don't spend hours and days wondering why did it do that? It's July 22, 2020. Welcome to our open house, to our guests, to our new friends here. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Today we're going to do an update on Bili. Billy's got a gun. He's on the run. And we're going to look at Chinese stocks in general. I think Chinese stonks, especially ones that don't make money, and Brazilian and Argentinian and other foreign companies that don't make money, who have been enjoying their day in the their day in the sun, are facing a day of reckoning. We're going to scan for some bad companies till the day I die. I'm sorry. And then we're nearing a short-term market top, as we discussed. We'll look at insiderinsights.com. And so we'll start things off here before the market opens. Gold is up. Silver is up. Those are parabolic moves. It's one of those things where if you've already got those precious metals in your portfolio, you're good to go. If you don't have them, it's the risk to reward probably isn't a reasonable enough payoff to try to do it now. It's probably not significant enough. It's going to be a great day for gold and silver, and maybe gold goes to $2,000, and it probably 100% does that. But what we might do is wait for a pullback and buy a call on GLD. There are better ways to play it than just buying precious metals. This is Bili. So one thing I really love about Bili today is this is, okay, I don't know what that was. This is bearish Knoxville divergence. I created this indicator. You can find it under indicators in tradingview.com. This is a bearish profit circle, PC, BPC. Both of these things combined are an early warning sign that price is going to reverse. I'm such a great artist. I mean, I know we shouldn't focus so much on my artistic skills. We should focus on your, but I just wanted some acknowledgement that, okay, anyway. What it's also doing here is on the chart, fell below the trend line, and yesterday it rose up and retested it. I feel like we're well positioned today for this to drop lower. And I love this weekly pivot level around 36. Seems like a long way for it to go, but on a, what I look for are garbage companies that do not deserve their valuations. And then I look for price patterns that suggest a drop. And then we take a trade. And then we don't necessarily always get the drop. It's actually a pretty good movie. Tom Hardy, Tony Soprano, The Drop. Check it out. We don't necessarily get this thing to fall. It might not fall. So welcome to you. I love it when I go on my rants. Gold is pushing the limits of wave 5. If one should get a higher cycle, then a big buy. So yeah, okay, totally agree. A higher cycle too, and then a big buy. Yeah, totally with you all the way. Oh, this is a nice. Eddie printed the PDF for Monday's presentation, created question, deep dive. I'm really grateful for your stuff. Oh, so my mic cuts out. If I turn around to around there, it cuts out. I think it should be fine now, right? So I'll just pop up the chat box. Let me know. Testing 1, 2, 3. We're good, right? As long as I just stay in front of the microphone. I'm not going to turn around again to the Bloomberg, so I don't think we're going to have that problem. Right? Yeah. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're out when I turn around to the Bloomberg. If I'm going to move around, I'll wear a lavalier mic. Okay, we got a lot of stuff we want to do here today. I want to look at NIO because for those of you that are kind of new to coaching, this is another problematic Chinese company that did basically the same thing. Broke the trend line, retested the trend line yesterday, and now it's a day of reckoning here. And we have wonderful profit targets lower than where we are right now. We got really, really great profit targets here. And I think that we're going to know really soon if this is really going to be bearish or not. Because if we rise above last week's pivot, like $13.90, then I got to say I think I'm wrong. It's crazy because this company loses 11 billion yuan a year. That's a stunning number. It's not a number to yuan at. Anyway, so we're going to find out really soon. It's not too late either. You could buy the $12 puts that expire if there are some in September. I would be 1,000% okay with that. Oh, so when I move up and down on the seat, I warble acoustically. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for letting me know that. Wow. I could probably change that. I'm going to try this microphone out for a minute. I might not warble as much. The audio might be a little bit echoier, but it might not warble as much. So you might like that better. Don came in mid-sentence. What are we doing, Billy? Okay. Billy, for those of you that are just joining us now, retested the trend line and started to drop back. And we're looking for it to continue. So it's a company that doesn't make enough money to justify its stonk price. It's doesn't make money. Its basic earnings per share is negative 72 cents. It broke through a trend line. It's bearish divergence. It's got all the elements that I like to see. It's got bearish divergence, bearish profit circle, retested the trend line from the underside, back tested the trend line, returned to the trend line. I used to call that a Winnipeg special, when it would break a trend line and jump back up and come back down. I didn't call it a Winnipeg special for any particularly good reason. I just did. So we're going to, Kurt says, hey, what about scanning for stocks? We're actually going to scan together today. We're not going to use TradingView to scan because TradingView is super slow when you scan. It pops up the window and then you look for criteria and then it goes really slowly. So we won't be doing that. We're going to use finviz.com, which has a free version. Everyone will be able to follow along with that. We're also going to take a look at insiderinsights.com, and I'm going to consider being a subscriber. I like the September 18th $12 put for NIO at any price because and for the reason that I think by September it's going to fall to like, I'm trying to be practical here, fill the gap and fall to $9.43. Be very hard for your option not to become worth something by that time. And if it rises above last week's pivot, which is at about $14, well, then it's wrong. And then it's a small loss. And that's the name of the game, small losses. I may even buy in Tastyworks today. When the market opens, I may even buy a NIO put. We may even do that together. So I'll join with you. So there goes the market, my friends. Let's see where things open up, and then we'll jump over to Tastyworks and we'll scan for a couple things. So NIO opens lower. PDD opens just slightly lower. Bili opens up lower, immediately kind of comes back a bit. Zoom opens a little bit higher, but not in any significant way. All right, let's take a look at NIO on the options spread. So here's NIO's options. They have September 18th $12 puts that cost, there's only a 9-cent spread on that. I'll buy it. So that's about all the positions that I can take right now. That's about all I can do. My Bili option is in the money. My NIO option is out of the money. And we'll see if that falls today. What I do is I set alarms up on my charts. On TradingView, it's really easy to set an alarm. You just right-click on the chart and choose Add Alert. And I do this because I'm superstitious that if I do this, price will want to hit that level. All right, this office is getting super warm. Okay. I'm just wondering if I have anything else to say about any of these things before we move on. Pull back and hold the 850 area. NIO can go wave 3 explosive high. Yes. So one really cool thing about NIO is you really do get to trade this in both directions. So if it does get a move lower, and if it does hold the $8, between $8 and $9 area, if it holds that and then bursts higher, it could go to like $20 from there. Matthew paid less for his Bili put than we did. Nice job, man. That always makes me really happy. Kurt, I'm happy to repeat it. So what I did was I typed in NIO up here on Tastyworks. I looked for the $12. I'll just circle everything. Okay. So I looked at the September 18th expiration, $12 strike. This is the bid and the ask. So I wanted to buy it. I wanted to buy a put. So that's what I was going to pay. And a put is a bet that the stock goes down. And a call is a bet that the stock goes up. So you can actually buy a ticket. He's got a ticket to ride. And you buy a ticket, right? You buy a ticket and you go on a ride. Some rides go down. Some rides go up, right? Some rides go up and down, and options are the same thing. You can buy options that make money if things go up and down. You could buy an option that makes money if the stock goes up, and you could buy an option that's just simply a bet that the stock goes down. Super awesome. And I do a better job. I don't know why. I'm like the angel of death or something. I do better betting against companies that are not making money. And it takes a while for my trades to play out. But they do. I do a better job of that. I have fewer trades and higher quality trades. All right. Also today, we're going to look at insiderinsights.com. So insiderinsights.com is a website where I guess they got some free stuff. We could check that out. So Insider Insights reports on insider transactions. We've used Insider Cow. We've used the Bloomberg for insider information. And there's a bunch of other websites. And Insider Insights reported that company insiders selling shares are number 186% more than company insiders buying shares over the last 4 weeks. When there's a 200% difference between those numbers, when there are 200% more sellers than there are buyers in the insider world, it's a short-term, it's generally a very, 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 very strong predictor of a short-term market top. Transaction codes, what you're not getting, paginated input date, pro level, all daily reports, blah, blah, blah. Sample newsletters. Let's look at a sample newsletter from Insider. Insider market, bullish trend trade, new recommendations, recommended list, fundamental research, new recommendations, company update. Looks like really good research. This looks like really, really nice research. I like it. I will probably subscribe to this. And, should I subscribe to Pro Level or the data module? Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't think I need the data module. I don't think I need to download a bunch of data. I think I'd be fine. That sounds great. So I probably will do that just to get a better idea of, insider movement and activity. All right, so it's about 36 minutes past the hour. It's a good time for us to take a look at the biggest movers of the day so far. So percent losers, ENT. That's a pretty thinly traded financial instrument, if you ask me. MTP. Ooh, this is a strike zone pattern. Look at that. Up 1, down 2, and then generally up 3. That would not necessarily happen today, but I really, really like this. So we're gonna do some research into Midatech Pharma. Wow, they don't have an earnings transcript. At least nothing recent. Total gross revenue, subscription, blah, 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 cash and deposits, net loss, net cash flow in the year, tax receivable. If this company has any kind of even remotely positive anything, operational highlights. See the letter sent on terminate a license agreement. That's not good. Difficult period for Midatech with the termination of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so this company is it's not a good company. It's a bummer. Yeah, not a good company. Not a good company. What a bummer. That would have been a lot of fun. HTBX, Heat Biologics. We looked at this one once before. This is another one that could be really interesting. So we're going to go to HTBX earnings report. Oh my gosh, if I have to identify one more crosswalk, I'm going to... So dumb. So we don't even really have any info. Clinical trial. That's last month. Statistics. Operating margin is negative 576%. Negative return on assets, negative return on equity, negative free cash flow. What a bummer. I really wanted to love this company. Yeah, that's a bummer. I really wanted to give this company a chance. They don't deserve it. All right, so GB says, I'm not getting the email invitation to the Zoom meeting. You're in it. This is the only link. You don't need any more email invitations. You don't need to complain. You can actually not even worry about it at all. Once you have the link, you're in. This is it. You got it. If you're here, you have the link. I don't know what other messages you want to leave, but you're right here. So any other messages you want to send them here. But you're in the webinar. It's the same link every day, same time every day. So you're here. I'm glad you're here. And Quentin's awesome. So you got it. You got it. You're in. No, I don't understand. All right, I'm going to sit here and understand. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to understand. Lay it on me. Someone's asking what the target is for NIO. I want to see NIO get down to $9. You did not get any email yesterday. Right. And I think we've moved on from that, right? You're in now. We got you the link, and that's the same link for all week. No. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Hopefully this is a trading related question. Yes, you had to call and you missed yesterday's webinar. We'll give you one for next Monday, GB. You're not a victim of mistreatment. It was a mistake, and we'll give you one next Monday. It's good, man. Just listen. Everybody jumps to the conclusion that we're trying to F somebody over. We'll give you one next week. We got it. We got you, man. We love you. We love you. Don't spend any time. You're not missing anything. Don't have any fear of missing out. So you missed yesterday's. Yesterday's wasn't even that great. Maybe we'll give everybody access to Mondays. We're good, man. Don't worry. We got you. We love you. Yeah, we'll make mistakes every once in a while, but we got you. We totally. It's easy to. These are all easy problems to fix. So you got the link. It's the same one all week long. Okay, let's take a look quickly at a few of the things that we got on our list once again. I am heavily bearish on Pinduoduo, and that seems to be not recovering today. I'm super bearish on NIO. That does not seem to be recovering. Bili, we are bearish on Bili, aren't we? And that seems to be going lower today. So we're up $25 on the day, $16 on the trade. Unless this crashes like $10, it's not like we're going to make 100% on that trade. However, we've picked two stocks, Bili and NIO, that could potentially fall a lot, like 20 or 30% all in one fell swoop. So it is theoretically possible. All right, let's do a scan. This is one of the things I want to do. We may save this for tomorrow. This is a class that I'm going to teach that's going to cost a bunch of money. But I'm going to teach it to you tomorrow, most likely, as part of one of our coaching calls, just to get you access to it, because you because you're awesome. Okay, so inside of the coaching, we kind of like preview almost everything that we do. We may even have a special guest here on Friday's call. All right, so I'm going to go to finviz.com. You don't have to sign up for the elite version of Finviz. You don't have to sign up for that. And you go to screener. And there we are. So we're going to do a screen here. And this, so it's all very small. So I'm going to go as slowly as possible. All right. Country, ex-USA. Okay. I think I can trade most of these. Yeah, AirCap Holdings and whatnot. We made a bunch of money. We made a ton of money on AirCap Holdings when it dropped, because it was a company with $29 billion in debt and $3 billion in revenue. Not a good situation. Okay. So now we're going to do this. We're going to optionable and shortable. It's 579. Fundamental. Let's look at some fundamentals. Net profit margin negative. How far down does that go? Okay, 138. Technical. Up for the quarter. How far does that down? That's two. That's not enough. Up for the month, 10% or more. That's too many. Up for the week, 10%. Now we're getting somewhere. 26 stocks. I want to go up for the week, 20%. Here's a list. We're going to look at every one of these today. CNET, CRNT, DTEA, EDAP, EXK, GPL, JRJC, NBR, NEW, TRIB. So I'm going to even make that larger so you can see it, hopefully. I'm going to even make a slide of this, an image of this. I'm going to leave it up for just another moment. Okay. We're going to just, what I'll do now is I will put them into our July 21st stocks list. It will just take me a minute to CRNT. DTEA. EDAP. EXK. GPL. JRJC. NBR. NEW. TRIB. Let's just look at this. Now, what we're going to do first is we're just going to look at the prices here. ChinaNet Online Holdings. That looks like a head and shoulders pattern that could break. I would sell this company in a second if it were possible. CRNT, trading for $2.68. That looks like it's moving up and is shortable. DTEA, I don't really have any feelings about that. EDAP, don't really have any feelings about that. This is a parabolic move and it must be destroyed. So Endeavor Silver Corp. Silver's up. That's great. That's a parabolic move. That will not end well. That will not end well at all. So I don't know how possible it is to even trade that. GPL, mining company, that makes sense. China Finance Online, that I don't know if you can short that company, but that does not look good. That does not look good at all. We could check it out. Maybe we'll look up the options on JRJC. NBR, NEW, Puxon Limited. That looks pretty interesting. I don't know what the status of that is. We'll take a look at the options there. and TRIB. Oh, earnings today. Okay, so let's look at a couple of these and see if there's anything. It's possible that there are no significant options on any of these. NEW. September 18th. Yeah, the spread on these options is ridiculous. So, yeah, won't be able to. Yeah, so won't be able to trade those. But that's the kind of scan we want to do. So what we're going to do here is we're gonna open up the scan a little bit differently. We're going to go up for the quarter and increase the number of instruments. And then we're going to do average volume over 500,000, average volume over 1 million. That's 57. And we'll look at Shopify. Shopify is not a foreign. Is it Canada? Really? 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 Is it really Canada? I wonder how Shopify is doing. That's actually a good question. Because we know that's optionable. Holy smokes. That is a sweet trend line. Shoulder, head, shoulder, bearish divergence, bearish profit circle. It's now Canada doesn't really count in my list of, like foreign companies, but it's at the top of the list here. Worth looking at. Negative profit margin, negative operating margin, negative return on assets, negative return on equity, negative earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. They have a lot of money in the bank, but they have no free cash flow. They do not have free cash flow. It's not a winning combination. What's the market cap on Shopify? It's got to be just insane. 114 billion. That's not super insane. I was shopping on Untuckit for a shirt yesterday, and the store runs on Shopify. It's like, wow. Pretty amazing. Okay, I'm going to take a look at the Q&A. So OMC. Let's take a look. Looks reasonably bullish. That's bullish divergence, 2 bullish profit circles. If you saw a third bullish profit circle on the chart, that would be, I think, a lock for a buy trade. Jerry, I think we went over the filters again, but let's just do it again. All filters. Here we go. We looked for negative profit margins, up for the quarter, over 1 million shares of volume daily, optionable and shortable, and foreign. So what happens is when there's a market rout, now Canada doesn't really count, but it can, but it doesn't really count. China, Brazil, Argentina, Europe, some of the companies that are headquartered and domiciled in those areas, but who trade on the US exchanges, some of those get hit really hard. There's like this weird, like xenophobic stock market response. So it's kind of interesting. So those are the filters. Want to know something cool, says Kelly? I did a call on BBY on 16th and sold today and made $285. Oh, that is super cool. You did a call on BBY. That is super awesome. You checked with Zach's. Look at Best Buy. Holy smokes. Look at that go. Nice. Way to go. Yeah, GLD. Yeah, so when GLD finally does fall, like this former area of resistance and support, Jeff, yeah, that does look really good. That looks really good. I can't believe. I don't mind answering these questions. Here's volley. It's up. It's up. It broke the highs, so it's like a momentum move upward. It didn't drop like it was quote unquote supposed to. Okay, Bili. Let's look at Bili. Love it. Target. I think Bili ought to get down to $35. It probably at least ought to get down to $40. And at that point, I would say my trade has done all that it was meant to do. 34 bucks. I mean, even $35 on a small account is pretty great. But now what I'm trying to do here is trade stonks that I think are going to crash, like literally just crash, like go to zero potentially. And so $36 a day on $1,000 account is outrageous. It's a 3% daily gain. You would get nominated for a godlike Hall of Fame of investing award. But what we're looking for is otherworldly, Marvel superhero, the Avengers type gains. And so we're looking for Nio to drop $4 or Bili to drop $9. That's what we're looking for. So, what would otherwise be an acceptable return on a smaller account doesn't really seem practical to me for the purposes that we do things here. So one more time, I'm going to look at the scan. We went to FinViz. You can do this for free on FinViz. Net profit margin is negative. Performance for the quarter is up. Average volume is over 1 million shares. Optionable and shortable. And it's a company that's domiciled and headquartered outside the United States of America. I'm going to stop the recording here and get it processed